One of the greatest trading strategies, I believe, and one of the things that I do myself, focusing on more like breakout type of trading. And I want to share something with you that normally happens with this strategy that I think can really sort of get a lot of people on the wrong side, as in getting out too early. And there's something that I've noticed time and time again, whenever we do get a good breakout, a lot of the times it can shake you out for a short term, and then the big move happens. I'm going to share with you this pattern here that forms. I'm going to walk you through some trades that I've done in the last few months to show you examples and how you don't want to get out too early, because after the short term, what I call shake and bake, that's when the big move happens. So quick disclaimer, guys, we're going to get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So I've just recorded a brand new trading course, and I'm giving you a free access to this. This is broken down into 4 different parts. Part number 1 is about the foundations, the biggest mistakes you're making right now, what goes into a good trader. Part number 2 is about the chart reading techniques that's been working since the 1950s. This chart reading, part number 3, advanced chart reading, is about the techniques that I've actually only learned from my millionaire mentor, not from books. And then also my number 1 top trading system mastery. I give you all of that for free, and I'm giving it to you. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now, or click on the very first link in the description. One of the big things that I've just noticed time and time again is, we're looking at a screen right now, okay? We're looking at, say, for example, platinum here. And this is just one of many trades that I've done. And one of the really big things I've noticed, this doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it can happen here, okay? So let me show you this here. So I'm a very big, what's called a breakout type of trader, okay? And the reason why I like trading breakouts is because, to me, I'm all about trying to position myself for a risk to reward, right? So I'm trying to get that 4, 5, 6 times profit compared to my risk in the markets. I'm always trying to go for that, especially in this day and age, as I'm pretty sure a lot of you know, the day trading style of trading, especially this year, people are just getting their heads handed to them. So I'm really grateful that I trade this strategy, because it allows me, even if I do go through a bit of a rough patch, it allows me to have these big profits, small losses here. Now, thankfully, I haven't had a rough patch this year. I was actually talking with my 1% coaching club group, as my inner circle group. I'm actually with them every single day, sort of coaching them and guiding them. I've actually got 2 spots left open, guys. So if you want to get access to that, you want to get access to me every single day for a few hours, where I'm showing you everything, coach you and guiding you through this process, and you need a lot more hand holding, then I've got 2 spots left open, guys. There's that second link in the description. That's an application form, and you'll be able to speak to me, and we'll have a chat there. So the thing that I really want to bring, one thing that I was really sort of bringing home, and I was just saying to my 1% club group this year, I didn't realize, I went through all my stats, and I've only had 2 losses this year. For my entire year, I've only had 2 losses, so it's actually been quite amazing. But the most amazing thing is I've only had 2 losses, and I would have to say at least a large percent of my profits have been really big profits, and platinum is one of those. This is the platinum chart here, and I was going through this here, and one thing I've noticed, especially this year more than ever, is that whenever we do get the breakout, right? So whenever we do get the breakout here, see this breakout here. Now there's certain things that you want to see before the breakout. A bit of a little tip for you guys is that typically, there's 2 different types of breakouts that happen with this here. The one breakout that I don't trade is this. Just say, for example, we have a resistance up through here, okay? We might have resistance here, right? And then we get an up move, and then we get a breakout like that, right? I don't trade these breakouts here. And the reason why is because if there's a thing called price and time in the market. So what that simply means is that after a certain move up, and you see this even with all markets, even with platinum, right? We saw the move up from here, and then we have a drop down. After a while, if the market's been going up for quite some time, and this could be, say, 2 weeks on a daily chart, okay? If we're seeing that on a daily chart, okay, and we're seeing that process there on a daily chart, Then one thing I've found is I use this like an energy field. The market goes up, 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 and then we break. Typically what happens here is we might get that, and then it just reverses and comes back down. And so I don't like to trade this here. What I like to trade is instead of, as you can see, it actually went up first and then we got the breakout. What I personally like to trade myself is I like to see, just say for example, we have once again the resistance here. The market goes up, hits resistance, comes up, hits resistance, and then we get some sort of what's called resting phase or a time phase or it's called a refueling phase. So the market's going up, 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 up here, but we've got a bit of a pullback here, a bit of a rest first. This is what's called the refueling phase for me. And then if I can get something like that going on, this here is so much more high probability of it actually being a true breakout before the run. So if you guys are worried about false breakouts and stuff like that, use that as a bit of a guideline, because I promise you most of the time, most false breakouts happen when they happen right here. So the market's going up and then we get the breakout here. We need time to refuel, okay? And as you can see, even through this previous, look at this here, even though we had a very big move up, we eventually get what? That. And so, and you can actually see, for me personally, I got in on platinum right here, on this breakout here. And as you can see, the market went sideways through here. And also, bit of an extra tip for you guys that are trading breakout trading strategies. And again, in that trading course below there, and actually the very first video you actually get, guys, when you get access to that free trading course, first link in the description. The free trading course is just amazing, by the way, guys. It's just, there's so much amazing stuff in there. But the very first video you get after registering for the free course, the very first video you get is actually a 25-minute video walking you through my actual trading strategy that I look for with the breakouts there. But looking at this level here, right, and looking at this breakout here, few things. Firstly, wait for a sideways period. Notice how we had all this sideways period through here first, and then we had the breakout. That was the thing for me, as I need to see the sideways first. If this continued up through here, like this, and then broke out through there, more times than not, that's called a false breakout. That will break. It's likely to be a false breakout. And then what's likely to happen is we're likely to pull back first, do that, then get a bit of what's called a resting phase or a pullback first, and then we get going, and then that's the true breakout. Many times in my past, I'd actually trade this, I'd get stopped out, I wouldn't trade this, but this one here was the start of the big move. So again, FYI, bit of a wait for the pullback first on the breakouts. That's number one, right? Because I look at it from an energy field, right? If we've gone up, we're using a lot of energy. This is called the market's buying it and use a lot of energy. And if we get a breakout up here, we've been using a lot of energy here. Wait for this thing to do this sideways, this point through here, and then that's when I look to enter. Then on the breakout, make sure the breakout itself is really big in volume, right? So if I open up my volume here, you'll notice that this breakout here that I took here, firstly, what did we have? We had the sideways period here for a bit of time through here, as you can see. But also, secondly, we had a massive volume spike. If we can get a sideways period first, and we get a very dominant bar breaking out, see how it's really breaking out. It's not just a small little breakout, it's a full breakout, but with a massive volume spike. Massive volume spike is institutions saying they're getting involved with it. Okay, so it's actually a bit of a tip here, but obviously this video is about the breakout trading strategy and how to avoid exiting too early. Now, look what actually happened here initially, right? Look what actually happened here. If I open this up, notice that was the entry there. Okay, so this was actually my trade I did. I actually made 250% return on this trade here. I did this with my inner circle members, by the way. And so a breakout trading strategy here, right? So it actually broke out through here, but notice, firstly, it was a good trade, but notice what it did first. And this is where I was really, every day I was with my coach, especially my 1% group, and I was with them every day and walking through this process here, and I was teaching them not to get shaken out too early, because a lot of the times, or should I say some of the times, if you get on a breakout, but the market may just pause and go sideways overall. see how it's not really selling off quite strongly. If it sells off quite strongly, yep, that's a loss there. But one thing I've noticed is that if I get into the trade and then it just goes sideways here, it breaks out, but we don't get any follow through. This here was for about 2 weeks. And this 2 week period, this is where a lot of traders get shaken out. And the FOMO, oh my goodness, it's not going to work. And then they get shaken out. And then as you can see, that's when the big move really happened, right? And so one thing I've noticed, and the title of this video, right, how to avoid exiting too early and ride the full move, is whenever we do, just say we get the sideways period from here, we get the nice breakout. Sometimes, now this is not all the time. This is not all the time. Sometimes it just takes off like a rocket, right? But especially this year, I've noticed, is that it'll break out, it'll go like that, and then it may just do this here for a little bit. Just hold there. Now, I used to get out on this. I'm like, oh, it's not working. And then the market would run on, as you can see through here. So that was one trade through there that I did that represents that. Another trade for me is GRPN, right? So as you can see here, this was a trade that I did, but notice what it did afterwards. So this breakout bar, this was a very big, strong, I'll just show you this here so you can actually see it. So this one was a big, massive resistance all through there, as you can see. Big, massive resistance all through there. And I got in on this breakout bar right here. Now, as you can see, what did we have first? Firstly, we had what? Firstly, we had the sideways period first, and then the breakout, right? So that's now we're in the trade. This is for me. Now I'm in the trade. Let's manage it properly so we don't actually miss out. But notice what happened here once again. This one here actually gave me a 300% return on my options because these were both options trades. So, but notice what actually happened here. What happened? As soon as I got into it, it went sideways for about a week, actually for about 2 weeks. It went sideways, had a nice move up, sideways, had a nice move up, and that's exactly where I actually entered. That's exactly where I actually exited. And the reason why I exited was because, very, very simple, that there was the first reversal type of bar that was showing me that it's probably slowing down from here. So there's 2 examples there, and I'll show you another example, like a real, I've got many screenshots of trades and stuff that I've done in the past. But let me show you this here, because it's really important to, if you're trading breakouts, firstly, understand what really gives actually, before I do that, just before I forget, Alibaba was one of those ones that actually gave a false breakout, and I could see this happening a mile away. Now, look at this here. Notice Alibaba had what? See, Alibaba actually had see that breakout there? Why did Alibaba break out here but fail? Remember I said before, what? If the market's going up for quite some time and then we get the breakout, why did that breakout fail and then now we've done nothing ever since? Remember I said before, right? When we have the resistance, if the market's hit resistance, and then we go up, and then we continue getting a breakout, we don't want that. What we want is what? We want it to hit resistance, give a little sideways period for a week or 2 or 3. This gives it, this now lets the market rest. It's called refueling, and then we get going again. And this here is the true breakout. This is the reason why I didn't trade this breakout, because it had no sideways period first, right? See, you see that through there. I just wanted to, before I forgot, especially because this video is all about trading breakouts from that level there. Once again, guys, that first video in that free trading course I'm giving away, first link in the description. I actually walk you through the exact 4-step rules that I use to get in and qualify a real good, true, high probability breakout. But I'm going to show you a trade that happened, and it was just an amazing, amazing trade. And I was walking through this with some of my, I was actually walking through this with my 1% group, and it was just amazing. And it's actually called, these are different trades here that I take, and all of them are breakout trades, by the way. But they're just variations of breakout trades. Some breakout trades only last a short term, where other trades are more like really longer term stuff. You can hold on to it for a few months and jump on a really big, massive profit. Like a Groupon trade or even a platinum trade, hold on to it for 4, 5, 6 weeks and pick up not just a 30% profit or a 50% profit, but pick up some really, really big profits here. So I'm just trying to see, where is that? That's that one there. I'm looking for 24. Okay, so it was more like a level 2 trade. I won't go into too much details about the level 2 trade, but I'm just trying to see where this, right here, right? So let me bring this up here. So this here was what's called a breakout trade. And let me actually, I'll zoom this in here right now. So it's, I won't get into too much details of it, but firstly, notice how, see where the arrow is on this one here? Oh, see where the arrow is right here? Notice how we had the breakout here? What did we have before the breakout? See the sideways bit, and then we had the breakout? See, that's the thing that gives you confidence, right? So I've shown you now 3 examples of when you get the sideways period before the breakout, it's likely to be a true breakout, especially if you get the big volume bar, a big breakout bar, and volume increase. Perfect, okay? But just like Alibaba, what you want to be careful of the false breakouts is that there is when the market does that, okay? Now, one thing that, and as you can see here, what actually happened with this one here? This one here went from $60 all the way up to about 120. Now, what did this have here? Let me show you. Notice how what? We got into the breakout, and once again, even this one did what? See how it did nothing? It actually held here. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about 2 weeks. If this is a daily chart, it's about 2 weeks. So the reason why this is so important is because a lot of my big profits that I get into is that a lot of the times I'll see a breakout, I'll get into the breakout, and then I'm actually holding on to it for 2 weeks and it's not doing anything. It's just going sideways. That's okay, because I've always found, just like this example, just like my platinum trader showed you, even Groupon, just because you get on a breakout and it doesn't do anything for a few days, that's okay. Because as you can see, then guess what? That's when the real big move actually kicked in. It just broke out. When it broke out, it just needed a little bit of time. And the time that I notice here is this. See my purple moving average? This is what's called my 9 moving average. I've always found that typically what happens is when you get the breakout, the 9 moving average from here will then start to increase like that. See how it increases? And then what ends up happening is that it breaks out, and then we go sideways to the 9 moving average, and then the 9 moving average pushes it up from there. Make sense? So this here is what you want to do. This is the whole point and purpose of the video, is that to guide you down how to avoid exiting too early and ride the full move. Now, another tip for you guys when looking to exit trades like this is you want a very strong close below the 9 moving average. So I always use the 9 moving average as an example, and as you can see here, right, like the just a very simple tool. As you can see here, stayed there, closed right near it there. So this is the exit here. So there would have been a entry there around $60, and that was a full close below around that 120, was around about there, by utilizing a very strong close below the 9 moving average. So that's just a few things about what's called exiting too early, but there's other things I can teach you there. But I really want to do this video here because I know a lot of traders who are trading out, who are trading, yeah, you just don't want to get out too early.